Hey everyone. Let me make sure that I am in the right group because I have been known to do that before. And then we will go ahead and get started. I am going to show you guys, oop, that's not the right group. Go back. I keep clicking the wrong one. I'm struggling. Okay. I am going to show you guys tonight how to do an application of our dry nail polish strips. If you've never tried Color Street before, this is what it looks like. I'm going to open up the package. I'm going to do a Halloween set. This one is a glittery, like black to kind of like an orangish red. And then it has little bats on some of them. So I'm going to show you guys how to apply that. Sorry, my little ones were playing with my hair before I jumped on here and before I put them to bed. So kind of just threw it back up again. Who knows what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to open this up for you guys. So what you are going to see in here is, well, the nail file fell out, but you have your nail strips, your prep pad, and a nail file. So you do have everything that you really need to do your manicure, pedicure, whatever it is. You can use our regular strips on your toenails as well. I can usually get a mani and a pedi out of one full set, and then I usually actually have a couple extras left over too. But one of the things that I have, and I showed you guys this a little bit last night, is my little pouch here that has all of my little goodies in it. And I'll kind of show you the different things that I use in here. I usually have just like nail scissors because I like to cut the strips, so it's just easier for me to work with that way. I will be using my cuticle pusher. And then I like my Color Street nail file. I'm not buffing out my nails because I did that yesterday. And then, let's see, where is my, I also have a glass nail file in here. And I like to use the glass ones when after I'm done shaping my nails. When you use a glass nail file, it seals in the keratin layers of your nails, which makes it so you have less peeling, chipping, all that kind of stuff. It is buried somewhere in there, so, but just know that glass nail files really do help with that. So I'm going to cut these open. They do have a little pull tab, but I'm going to show you how I save my extra strips. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off, and then I'm going to pull out the strips that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to put the rest back into the package. So I used to, when my nails were a little bit shorter, I used to be able to get double ends out of them. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So I only use like 5 strips out of this pack. But now that my nails are a little bit longer, I use 10 of the 16 strips. So you get 8 different sizes, 16 total strips. So you have plenty to do a manicure, a pedicure, and I'll show you which ones I use. So these end ones here, I usually leave these ones for my toenails unless they have a fun design. Like, if I don't want to use this one on my thumbnail, then I can use this one too. So I actually might do the bats on my thumbnail because it's cute and fun. And then this last one too, it does not fit my pinky, so I will use these for my toenails. And then this one right here fits my pinky nail. The next one in typically fits my fingernail. And then I'm going to make sure that I like how these look. This one will fit my ring finger. And then either of these will fit my middle finger. So you can kind of pick whichever one you want for that. But I'm going to make sure that I like the design because I don't know if I want, well, I guess that's cute. So we'll probably do it that way. I'll probably do 3, so I have it, I kind of just like lay them down right here. So I have bats, an ombre, and then bats again. So I think I'll leave it like that. I was thinking about doing like every other, but I think I'll leave it like that. Okay. So I'm not going to show you every single one of these to put on because after a few of them, you'll get the gist of it. But I am going to give you some pointers as I go along. Typically, I can get my manicure done if I'm just doing one single layer, nothing fancy. I can usually get it done within about 10-15 minutes. But since I'm showing you guys tonight, it's probably going to take a little bit longer. But I take those extras that I have and I will put them back in the package. I will get as much air out as I can. I just tape the top. Some people will seal it with a like straightener. You can do it either way. I've noticed the tape works just fine for me, so that's typically what I do because it's just on my desk. And then I actually have a like gallon-sized freezer bag because that's how many leftovers I have. I like to try everything in my refrigerator that I put this in, and then when I'm ready to use it again, or if I want to do like a mixed mani or something and I want to use a couple strips out of here, I will take it out of my refrigerator. Sounds weird, but I put it between my thighs to like warm it up a little bit. I usually do like, I'll take it out, I'll take off my nail polish while it's in between my thighs. And then I will go ahead and when I'm done taking off my nail polish, they're usually ready to go by then. So you want to make sure that you don't apply them cold or too warm. Too warm is going to make them too sticky, but too cold is going to make them too stiff, and you might get crinkles in them or something like that. So you want them to be kind of like at that room temperature. It can be slightly over room temperature, and that's fine. But the main thing, so these are, Color Street is 95% dry and 5% wet. So that 5% that's wet is on the back side, and that's what sticks to your nails. And you'll see, I'll show you guys, the top is going to be completely dry. So that is why you want to reseal them, because just like, say you had like a tiny bit of nail polish left in the bottle and you left the bottle open, it's going to dry out, right? So it's the same thing. These are 100% real nail polish. So if you leave these out of the package for too long, they are going to dry out. So to avoid that, I just reseal them, pop them in my fridge to kind of save them. Okay, so the first thing, you guys saw me take off my nail polish yesterday. Today, and I applied the nail strengthener. So I still have the nail strengthener on. So all I'm going to do today, and you can do this all at once. So let's say I took off my nail polish tonight. I put the nail strengthener on. I would just wait a couple minutes for the nail strengthener to dry, and then you're going to take out your prep pad. The other thing that I did right before I jumped on here was I washed my hands with dish soap. So that's going to get any excess oils off your nails. The biggest thing with these two is you don't want to over handle your strips. So our nails and our fingers have lots of oils in them. If they are over handled, then your nail strips are going to not stick as well. If they get too many oils on them, they're not going to stick as well. So your prep pad is like crucial for that. So even though I put on my nail strengthener, I am still going to prep my nails and kind of like wipe off my fingers. All this is an alcohol prep pad. Is just to get any of those excess oils off for you. So I'm going to go ahead, prep these. You'll obviously want to push your cuticles back. You don't want to get any of this on your cuticles, and I'll show you little tips for that too. And then I just open it up and I wipe down to make sure that I don't have anything on my fingers and they're nice and dry and don't have any leftover. Okay, so we're going to start off. This is your nail strip. I know I'm probably going to have to move this down just a tad. This is going to be your nail strip. So you're going to take off this clear plastic layer right here. So clear plastic. This is your actual nail strip. As you can see, it's dry to the touch. And then you're going to peel apart the white from the strip. So there's your nail strip. So what I will do is I will go ahead and I will line this up with my cuticle. I'm going to face you downwards. So I'm going to line you up with my cuticle. I'm going to take it as far back as I can without going over my cuticle. Making sure you guys can see. And then I try to center it as well. So Let's say that I didn't like this placement though. As long as you haven't stuck it down, you can still pull it back up. So like as long as you haven't rubbed it down. So once I like the placement of it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to rub it. And once you're not going to want to lift it back up because the strip may tear and then you will have wasted the strip. So sometimes I can still get double ends. I actually can probably get a double end out of this one. But typically what I do if I'm trying to get double ends, you can go underneath like this and perforate it underneath your nail. I will usually just use my nail scissors and I will cut that off. Then let's say, oh, there we go. Okay, we're back. Sorry. So I will just go ahead and fold any excess underneath my nail there. I'll let it sit there for just a minute while I do my other nails. I always start with my pinkies. If you start with I use my thumbs as tools a lot of time. Like you'll see me kind of perforating with my thumbnails. So you'll want to make sure that you do your thumbnails last. And then when it comes to my thumbnails, I use this little guy. But this is the other half of your strip. It looks like this. You're going to be able to tear the other half off here. And now you have a rounded edge on that one. So you can turn it and wear this one on the other side, which it is going to fit. So I will just apply this one to the other side. If I can get it lined up right. It's always harder to do this on camera because I'm trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so then that is my two pinkies done. And then if there's any excess, so I do have like a little bit of excess here on the side. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of like push it down so I can make sure that it's at least on my nail. And then I'm going to come back and perforate that after it's cured for just a minute or two, just to make sure that it's on there and I don't rip anything off. The other thing too is I will usually rub, I don't think I said this yet, I usually rub backwards too to make sure it's not on my cuticle, as well as that the ends of it is like really pushed down, it's really on there. So I try to like rub them pretty good. But okay, push it back up here. So actually I can go ahead and save this one because I was able to get double ends out of that. And then I'll do one more and then I'll show you guys how I go back and kind of perforate the edges there. So again, you're just going to take that clear coat off. Then you're going to remove the silver part from the white. And again, you can touch it. You just don't want to like over handle it because you don't want to lose that, the stickiness to it, which is just nail polish. So I have it on there right now. So I'm going to rub it down. You can even slightly stretch these. The glitters are a little bit more stretchy, but let's say that, you kind of place it a little bit off to the one side, or, you know, you're in between nail strips and you want to size, you have to use the smaller size. You can slightly stretch it if you absolutely have to. I just try not to do that unless I absolutely have to. Now this side isn't going to be big enough for this nail on this side, so we're just going to get rid of that excess. Or if you were doing your toes at the same time, you could take this excess that you have and use it on your toes too to get the most from it. So I'm just making sure that I push it back. I do have a little excess on this side, so I'll show you guys how to get rid of that again. But how fun are these? And it's really hard to see with my light, but they are like really glittery too. So you can't really see it with my lighting, but this is a really pretty set that is like super glittery. Okay, so now, like I was saying, I have a little bit of excess on some of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my thumbnail, or you can use your cuticle pusher if your nails are a little bit shorter. When I first started, I had super duper short nails, so I always use this little guy. But you can take him, perforate along the edges. That way, get any of that excess off, and then you're just going to take your nail file. You can use the one that Color Street put in the package for you. And you're just going to file off that excess. Now, you're not filing to actually file. Like, you don't want to do a saw motion. You want to do one direction, and it's just to get that extra nail, the extra off. So you're not actually filing to file. Otherwise, you'll ruin the tips of, if you're trying to file, you're going to ruin the tips. Now I have days later, so the nails that I had on before this, I actually broke one and I filed them all a different shape because I did have almond shape. So I kind of reshaped them because I ended up breaking one. And my nail strips had been on for a few days, so they had a chance to cure for a few days. So they were really on my nails. So when I did file my nails down, I had no issues with chipping or anything like that. But when you first put your nail strips on, that 5% that is still wet nail polish, you want to make sure that you give it like 30 minutes to an hour to really cure to your nails. I love to do my manicure right before bedtime. So that way it has time to cure overnight. And then by the morning, I can do whatever I want. So typically in the morning, that's when I'll add my nail strengthener again as a top coat. So what I noticed when I first got this top coat in, I put on a base coat using this. Then I put on 2 layers of nail strips. Because I was doing like a mixed mani. So I put on 2 layers of nail strips, and then right after that, I put on this as a top coat. And then it felt like it was dry. I went to bed and I had like the lines in my nails when I woke up, because there was too many layers for it to cure, before I went to bed. So what I recommend doing, if you are using a top coat, is to do your nail strips, let them cure overnight, or if you're doing them during the day, let them cure for like a few hours, and then put your top coat on that you want to use, if you want to get that extra shine. So tomorrow morning, what I'll do is I will just slap this on, and that's usually when I'll take my nail fee to show you guys what they look like. Okay, so I have a little bit excess right here too, so I'm just going to take this little guy, I'm going to perforate along the edges. So I'm going to get any of that excess off there. And then I just use like my thumbnail really to just kind of separate it away from the nail. So you can see I'm kind of, it's hanging off a little bit there. You're just going to grab it because you don't want it to be on your skin. So that's the main thing about your cuticles. So if you do get this on your cuticles, you don't want, you want to try and get it off as well as you can. Because you don't want it to lift. So if it is on your skin or on your cuticles, it will cause the nail strips to lift because they're not cured to your fingernails. It really only sticks well to your fingernails. Now let's say you did get it on your cuticle. Something that I do like to do is, let's say it's on my cuticle a little bit, I'll let it cure for couple minutes. Like I'll leave it there, and then like I'll really make sure that it's pushed down just on the nail part. And then once I get all of my nails finished, I'll come back and I'll almost perforate it like I'm pushing back my cuticles. So I'll start to like push back my cuticle a little bit, perforate it, not like super hard, but it's going to create a perfect little round shape for you there to where you can just peel that right off your cuticle. So that's a little extra tip for you there. And then I think I had some excess on this one too. Get the excess off this one. But like I said, I will not keep you guys on here all night. I will show you guys my finished result tomorrow, when I take the picture, and we will just getting off that excess there. But let me show you these 2 nails. Oh, I think my husband's home. My husband wasn't here. He left to go. His brother lives like just 2 seconds down the street. So he left, but it sounds like there's someone in the garage, which always freaks me out when he's not here. Okay, so that is just a couple nails done. And I will show you the finished product tomorrow, but I hope this video was super helpful and gave you lots of great tips and tricks, and I will talk to you soon.